So there is a brand new tower in Bloons TD 6, and this thing is called a Battle Cat. Now this power has been introduced in the game as a result of a crossover between Bloons TD 6 and Masters of the Universe. So the description goes like this: bring Cringer from Masters of the Universe to the Bloon battlefield. Activate the transformation into Battle Cat for 3 rounds. Fully powered Battle Cat hits Bloons hard, also tearing away counter property and Bloon immunities. Now this Battle Cat is unfortunately only purchasable through the store and not with the monkey money like the rest of these guys, and thankfully there's a quest which I've already completed, which awards you with 3 Battle Cats. So let's actually see how good these guys are in an actual game. So we're gonna do Monkey Meadow. I want to play on an easier map because we got early access, and I know that these things are not exactly the most powerful creatures to begin with, and yeah, so I'm just gonna place one of these guys like this. We have 2 ready to go if necessary, so it's gonna be really interesting to see how far they can go. But so far, from the things that I'm kind of noticing just watching this guy go at it at the Bloons, we can notice a couple of things. First off, it has an AoE attack, so it gets a couple of Bloons with 1 swipe, and second of all, it does 2 damage because, well, it one-shots these blue Bloons. The attack speed also seems kind of semi-decent, I want to say, especially for a power. I would expect it to be a little bit more, or is it actually gonna leak on, like, oh my god, it's actually gonna leak on round 8. Alright, that's ridiculous. Yeah, so the second like a green Bloon comes in, this thing you just cannot handle it. Oh, snipe that one. No, the range is way too small on this thing. No, it's only 2 damage, so I guess there's a little bit of an AoE going, but the damage seems a little bit underwhelming, I'm pretty sure. So wait, what do we do? Do we place like a second one, or do we just chill with this one? Let's chill for a second, actually. Alright, so when the huge wave of blue Bloons appears, we should get a good gauge on what the pierce is, and it looks like, well, it's at least, well, 5. I don't know exactly how much is it, but yeah, it's getting a good chunk of the Bloons out, I guess. We got 3 Battle Cats in total, by the way, and I'm not going to be sparing any of these guys. I'm going to place all 3 of them, and then for the activation of the ability that you get, I want to activate them in the 90s, because once you activate it, it only lasts for 3 rounds, so you want to be careful with that. Oh, it's actually leaking. Maybe like the free Dark Monkey, that's like a full yellow Bloon. I'm just going to place the free Dark Monkey over here, like at the back, just so we save some of these road spikes. Alright, so we're not allowed to leak any more lives, and I feel like, yes, we're going to leak all these guys because the Dark Monkey cannot handle them. Okay, so it's time for the second one, and let's try and have enough space here so we can fit all 3 into this nice spot here. So there we go, that's Battle Cat number 2, and let's see if now we're going to be able to survive round 14, actually. Yeah, that looks a lot better than last time. Okay, so let me get the Monkey Comrade, so it's a 002 village, and then the next thing that I want to be doing is an Alchemist and just some extra attack speed through the jungle jumps. I feel like that's a little bit weak. I don't like this. Like, this is a full yellow Bloon. We have some road spikes at the back, but this is not going to be enough. I thought that we have to restart. Alright, I guess we have to place the third one as well, which is something that I am not liking because it's only round 17, I think it is. Yeah, and we already have to spend 3 of these guys. I don't know, they seem kind of weak, guys. I want to be honest. Maybe, what do they need? How would you buff these guys? I feel like they need to be a little bit stronger, right? Because you're paying actual money and some pink Bloons, and are they actually, I can't believe this, they're actually gonna leak. I mean, the Dark Monkey is gonna save us, so no more road spikes this time, but yeah, these guys are actually leaking on round 19, and we have 3 of them. And yeah, so the untransformed version of these guys doesn't have camo detection, but when you transform them, they become super strong. Have you guys seen the transformed versions of these guys? By the way, they are really, really good. One of the things that these guys cannot do is they cannot pop, well, they're popping lead Bloons, but it's because they have the AMD buff, and by themselves they cannot do it. So yeah, let's actually try and, you know, help these guys out a little bit. So let me get something like a 301. This is gonna be on the Alchemist. I'm gonna go for a 401. So 37. It seems like we've stabilized, guys. Not for long. I'm gonna get the jungle jumps as well, get these guys a little bit of extra attack speed. We have definitely stabilized, but the thing is, I don't think that this is gonna last. I feel like once we reach like the Moab around 40, these guys are definitely not popping it, because keep in mind, they're gonna be attacking with like 4 damage. That's really not a lot. Alright, so this is a big one. Round 39 is a big one, and then round 40 is gonna be a big one, because 39 is gonna have a lot of rainbows, and then 2 regrow rainbows at the back. So this is gonna be a test for the DPS. I feel like with the help of the Alchemist, they're actually not even like doing that bad, I want to say, especially because we got them the jungle jumps as well. So they are gonna deal with the rainbows, it seems like, which is really good. And then we're gonna have a Moab around 40. Alright, so do these guys pop the Moabs? It's gonna be like 4 damage a shot onto this Moab, and then a bunch of ceramics. I guess the ceramics are not gonna be an issue. No, it looks like this Moab is just gonna walk. I mean, they might pop the Moab layer, but it's probably gonna be about it. Nope, they're not even popping the Moab layer. Alright, so how do we help our boys without getting a tower that's outright gonna carry? And I was thinking of actually getting an NG, and we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go for the cleansing foam, and then probably something like these sentries, right? The idea being that we're eventually gonna go for an overclock, so, you know, might as well get this thing, and let's see how it goes. I think that we actually might get it with this little bit of extra damage that we're getting from the NG, and we did pop the Moab, but this is gonna be enough. I feel like if the Spy Hierarchy holds, it's gonna be enough, and yes, there we go. Alright, so these guys absolutely suck versus Moab class Bloons, so we have to learn from from that, and we have to adjust to that, it looks like. See how they do versus 49, by the way, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, so far, the thing that I'm seeing, I'm not exactly liking it. These guys seem a little bit too underwhelming for the price that you're paying, because keep in mind, you're paying for this with real-life cash, and they're leaking 49 with all these buffs and everything, so yeah, we're gonna have to reset this one, actually. Let's start things off with a 140, it's gonna become a 240 eventually, but I just don't want to spend the money on the white hot spikes now, and I guess we're gonna have to use the ability, right, on this one, because they're not even popping the ceramics, it seems like, so yeah, let's just dump the ability a little bit earlier, because we're probably gonna need it for round 40 in the Moab as well. That's a 40, I meant 50. 50 is gonna have two Moabs, one at the start and one at the end, so yeah, we dealt with these guys. I guess they're gonna be able to take care of the rainbows by themselves, and yeah, I feel like these guys should be a little bit more powerful. So keep in mind, these battle cats are not usable in these competitive events and multiplayer events in BT6, for example, like ranked bosses, or even modes like Chimps mode, right? So you cannot use them to like cheese the game in a way. So just because of that, I feel like they should actually last a lot longer than they do, or just be a lot stronger, because this like doesn't seem worth it. If you ask me, I would rather, you know, if you're going for spending the money in something in BT6, I would, oh, let me just use the ability, but I would rather spend the money on something that's actually, you know, useful and you can get a lot of mileage out of, like for example, double cash mode, honestly, or even the fast track pass, which I bought myself and I use it. I cannot believe how much I'm actually using fast track pass. It's insane. I'm using it to farm because you're skipping so many rounds, and if you're just like black border maps is like constantly on, it's insane how much mileage I've gotten out of that thing. Oh, so how do we fix this? I guess relentless glue, maybe have it outside of the range of the alchemist. Let's start with the Moab glue, actually, just keep it like this, save a little bit of cash. Yeah, there we go. Maybe these guys can now start finally soloing Moab class blues without the help of any other towers. I feel like, yes, we're reaching the point, guys. Are they popping the BFB though? I don't think so. They might pop the BFB layer. They're probably gonna pop the BFB layer, but the insides, I don't know. Maybe with the help of the Moab glue, because these guys are actually kind of slowed down. Oh, wait a minute, they're popping them. That's really good. We do have the ability from the Spike Storm, but I don't want to use it yet. I feel like we have to use it. That's a lot of balloons that leaked, and let's use it. Then are they popping the 45 Moabs? And if they do, like, is it gonna matter anyways? Because there's like 45 ceramics inside. No, it's not. Oh, this is really bad. I think we have to use the Spike Storm. Yeah, let's just do it. All right, so 63. Are they popping this thing? I mean, they do have a little bit of an AoE. I guess they have an alchemist. So is this gonna be enough? It's not looking like it. I see some leaks, but overall, I think they're cleaning out a decent amount of it around, which is just fine, because the remainder of the balloons can just bump into the Spy Factory. So I think we actually have 63, and this is gonna be nice because we're gonna get the cooldown on the Spike Storm. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, that's a lot of balloons. I think I'm gonna take the risk on this one. Yeah, there we go. But we cannot take the risk on the second one. 130 for now. Maybe, you know what? Maybe 140. Maybe actually 240. I want to get the 240 because eventually we want to be slowing down and I guess stunning these DDTs. So might as well, you know, think ahead a little bit. And I think that this is gonna be vastly more different than the. Oh my God, it's still leaking. I mean, it's not as much. Okay, it's not as much as previously. So we are gonna beat this one, and it's really good because we're gonna save the Spike Storm. But I'm having trouble making these battle cats work, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, these guys are super underwhelming, especially, you know, given that you have to pay real money for these things. I expected them to be a little bit stronger, is what I'm saying. Sorry, we have to do this. Let me get something like a 042 wizard, and I think this is gonna solve all our problems for the next few rounds. I'm also gonna buy like one more 023 farm. I don't want to be over farming, you know, going for like, I don't know, like the big ones, the 14 or 50 ones. I just want to get to a couple of spikes. That's about it. We get to a couple of spikes, and I think we are gonna be super close to winning, because once you transform these guys, they actually have like this. They can pop Cal Balloons, but it's not just that. Like, they get so many nice properties. Like, they even have like this glue slow. They slow down balloons. They knock them back. They do so much more damage. It's actually insane. So yeah, we just need to survive basically until round 92, and that's when the game is gonna start to become a lot more interesting, I think. All right, so I sold a couple of these farms. It's round 82, and we do get the money for a couple of spikes finally. So I'm gonna buy this thing, and let's just get some additional Moab class damage. This is very much necessary for this run. And unless these guys have some sort of a bonus, like for example, bonus against ceramic balloons, or I should say against fortified ceramics in this case, because we're gonna see a lot of fortifieds in free play, I don't think that they're gonna become, you know, any better than they were. Actually, they might even just become straight up worse, because the ceramics are just straight up more dangerous. You know what we should do though? We should get an overclock, I think, because we're gonna start transforming these guys. So I think overclocking them now is actually gonna be a good idea. So let me just get an overclock. I'm gonna just get one overclock because we're gonna be transforming them one by one. So we are not gonna need any more than that. And you know what? I think we just get something like, I don't know, like a Sabo as well. How do we make these guys' life a little bit easier starting from round 92 is the question. I feel like just all these support towers. So we got the ice, we got the relentless glue, and I think it's just a waiting game until we reach round 92 at this point. All right, so round 91, and I wanted to buy one more tower actually, and that is the Chinook, which which we barely don't have money for. We're gonna get it on this round, but yeah, I am pretty sure that you can Chinook these guys actually, so that might come in handy, especially because this ice tower is like freezing balloons up top. So we're probably gonna have to keep moving, you know, the transformed one up and down. Oh, wait a minute, let's just use the active ability on the carpet spikes, and that's about it. All right, there we go. So let's finally sell this wizard. It's round 92 in a second, and you know, once we get to 92, there we go. Okay, let me just transform our first battle cat, and let's see how good these guys actually are. So bam, there it is. You know what, the animation is actually really cool, and look at what it does. It's just so powerful when you transform it. It's insane. Look at what it does. It knocks balloons back, it slows down balloons, which you cannot see by the way because there's like this relentless glue up top, but it does slow balloons as well. Okay, so getting the Chinook was actually a good idea, so let's have it like this, I guess, and we should also overclock it, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, it's keeping a lot of ZMGs in place, and not only that, look at this thing, it's popping them by himself. That's amazing. It's also keeping all of these BFBs. Oh my god, this thing is really good. All right, so the transform version, you know what, I've absolutely no complaints about this thing. This thing actually slaps, it looks like. All right, that's amazing. Let's move it back though, in range of the alchemist and in range of the village to get some attack speed. We're gonna have some DDTs on this one, so I'm actually gonna use the Sabo, and let's see how it's gonna do versus the DDTs. It is knocking the back, it's destroying the DDTs, guys. Look at what's happening. These guys cannot even start the round, it looks like. Oh, that's amazing. And you know what, it's not that it's just good, but it is a little bit annoying. I'm gonna be honest, because this reminds me a little bit of the Balloon Crush, and what it does is just like knocks balloons back and it extends the round, maybe even the Superstorm a little bit. I guess this guy does a lot of damage, so it's not as boring, I guess. But yeah, definitely the transform battle cat is just like on another level. I really think that this thing should last a little bit longer than 3 rounds. I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's no need for this to be like, if you're gonna round limit this thing, it should be more than 3. I think it should be like 10 rounds easily. Yeah, I know that we have like a couple of spikes, but this thing is essentially soloing 94, and it's like not even close because it just keeps popping everything. Oh, there we go. It's gone. Okay, so there goes battle cat number 1. Okay, so we have 2 more. Let's transform this one for 95 for the DDTs. We can overclock this one as well, and then let's, as soon as the DDTs appear, I'm going to use the overclock. So let's go like this. Let's use the Sabo as well, and I think that we should Chinook this guy in a little bit of a better spot, so maybe like this. There we go, and let's see how this one does versus DDTs. Yeah, it's straight up just keeping the entire round of 95, which is going to show you how much pierce this thing has, which it looks like it's a lot actually for it to keep all of these like ceramics, 45 mobs, and just DDTs in place. Let's see how it does versus 96. So let's overclock it. Let's see if it's going to be able to keep this entire round at bay, because this one has a bunch of 45 small mobs and then a bunch of BFBs as well, and I'm actually not going to use the Sabo on this one. I want to see how it does by itself. It's doing the thing, guys. It's holding almost everything by itself. That's insane. I mean, once, you know, these small balloons are popping and it turns its attention to the ZMGs, I feel like, yes, look at this thing. It's even knocking back the ZMGs by so much. Absolutely insane. Let me just keep using carpet spikes because this round is going to last for a super long time, and we know that the battle cat can beat it by itself, so it's going to be 98, 99, and 100 actually. I'm curious to see how much damage this thing does versus the bad balloon. All right, here it comes. This is the big one. So 97 about to end. This guy is about to disappear. Then we're going to have one last battle cat. There we go. All right, so let's transform the last one, and let's see if this thing can actually beat around 98. It's pretty much beating it by itself at this point. I guess the carbo spikes is helping out a little bit, but the spikes are not exactly spawning towards the start of the track, I don't think. So it's mainly the battle cat just keeping everyone at bay. I just wish that would make this thing last a lot longer. That's my only complaint, I guess, with this thing. And also, like, the base one should be a lot stronger. I feel like 2 damage and however pierce it has and whatever it's doing, that's just not enough, I don't think. But yeah, when you transform it though, this thing slaps. This thing is really good. So yeah, you can kind of see why they set a time limit on it as well, right? Because if you just straight up buy this and activate it, then imagine this thing has like an indefinite duration. But yeah, this thing just ate up around 98. We cannot check the pops, by the way, because the pops are distributed on 3 different battle cats. So this is number 3, but you bet that this thing is carrying throughout, you know, this entire 90s. All right, so 99 incoming. Let me just use the Sabo, which is probably not going to be necessary actually, because it just keeps pushing these guys back, and it's just going to keep pushing them back forever. I guess with the help of the carpet spikes, we do take out this round. And round 100, let's see how much bad damage it does. Let me actually just move it before the bat appears so we can get a gauge on the DPS. Actually, something I've noticed is that this battle cat seems to apply a DPS effect. So look at how the damage counter goes up. It goes up by, it has a DPS of 20, and then the main attack does like how much, 30, 40 damage, something like that. Maybe like 40-ish on the main attack, but there's also DPS effects. So look at this thing. So this guy is not attacking, but look, its damage counter keeps going up. So yeah, it definitely has like a DPS effect of 25, it seems like it is. This battle cat is, guys, transform one is insane. Let me just keep using the carpet spikes so we can deal with this round a little bit faster. But yeah, that's the battle cat. So honestly, I don't think that this is worth it as it is, but I have a feeling, just because Ninja Kuri usually listens to feedback, I have a feeling that they're gonna buff this thing even a little bit. So yeah, I would just hold off on purchasing this thing for now. But in case you guys wanna buy it now and you just wanna try it out, don't forget to use code code EthanReed in the Bloons store. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.